Hello, my name is MooingCat and welcome back to the beta server where we have some very exciting spoilers to talk about. Yep, you read that title correctly. We will indeed get a guild expedition level 5. I know it's been talked about for ages in the community, and now we finally have some assets and very exciting stuff to look at. That suggests, or actually just straight out tells us, that we will be getting a level 5 in the future. Now, I will stress that this is speculation based on assets that have been added to the game. So they have been added, but we don't have any official information about it yet. So in this video, I will go through the assets we have so far, speculate on what they might mean, and then in the future we will learn more. Now normally I would cover this in my weekly beta recap, but we have so much already that I thought it would be fun to make a standalone video on this, on the guild expedition update, and then probably do a beta recap as well this weekend. Speaking of this weekend, tomorrow, Saturday, if you are around, I will be doing my weekly live stream at 7 p.m. Central European Summertime. So come join me there if you want to see me play on my new world, do some city reviews, as well as talk about this new update, among some other updates as well in the spoiler section. Alright, without further ado, let's jump into it, and the way I'll do it is that I will first go through all the assets quite quickly, and then I will go back and talk a little bit about what I think all of this might mean. So first of all, we have a very cool looking new building or a new chain set. So we have the main building, the feathered serpent statue, which is this building here. It is probably 3 levels. The image here suggests that it might be 3 different buildings, fully level buildings or main buildings, but the name of the ID of the building, in addition to the fact that there is an upgrade kit, suggests that this is indeed level 1, 2, and 3, and not 3 separate level 1 buildings. So I believe this is a building with 3 levels. This is how it would look at max level. Exactly what it gives, we don't know. In terms of size, it is 3 by 2, so quite small, very small indeed. It does need a road, but 2 roads on the front here would be very easy to fit into most cities. In addition to the main building, we have 3 chain buildings. These are 2 by 2, they are decorations, so don't need any roads. This is just like any other chain buildings. Now, each of these chain buildings have 3 variations. So yeah, and those you don't really choose from. So normally a few or quite a few decorations have different variations, and each time you log into the game, you get one of the variations. So this isn't 9 chain buildings, it is 3 chain buildings with 3 variations each. So we can look at it this way. We have the main building, level 3, and 3 chain buildings. In terms of what they give, we don't know anything yet, so can't really speculate much there. In addition to those buildings, we also have some other updates. We have the Ritual Flame, level 3. Not sure how interesting that will be. We have the Sacred Skywatch, level 3. So even more levels to existing buildings. But we also have one more new building, and we don't really know anything about it. To me, it seems like it is 3 by 4. Don't know if that, but that seems accurate to me, I suppose. In terms of what kind of building it is, we don't really know. A couple of months ago, InnoGames, they added a new way of, in the data of how they set up the buildings, which has this new code starting with W, so we can't really say much about how it is. With the old system, R is residential, T is tower, so sentinel outpost and stuff like that, D is decoration, sorry, and so on. But with this one, we don't really know what it is. So we will have to wait and see. I think it will be interesting if this is, for example, a production building. I think that would be cool. But we will see. Anyways, moving on to the mechanics. So first of all, we have this, which comes from an asset further down. And yeah, from this, it's confirmed. Guild Expedition level 5 is a thing, will be coming to the game. Exactly when, we don't know, but it will be coming. Now, in addition to that, we have some updates to the assets for various assets from the Guild Expedition. So, in case you don't know, the way these assets often work is that you have one big asset with a lot of smaller assets combined into one image. And here, most of this is stuff we already have from on live already from the existing Guild Expedition. But down in the corner here, you will notice that we have a lot of what appears to be new relics. So right now we have 2 icons for relics, one inactive, you don't have any relics to collect, and one active, signaling that you do have relics to collect. So those are of course related to the Temple of Relics. Now though, we have 6 new relics according to these assets here. Now exactly what this means or how they will work, we don't know. The early speculation was around perhaps an update to the Temple of Relics. And we don't really have any new information, but personally, I'm not sure if they are related to Temple of Relics. I think they might not be, but I'll go over that in a moment. One of the reasons why is this other new thing that have been added. We also have some either fortifications or fortresses. Both of those have been used. So exactly what they are, I don't know. But we have assets for 3 temples. So Eagle Warrior Temple, Jaguar Warrior Temple, Temple of Infiltration. And we have 3 for statue. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce these. Aztec-inspired names. Not sure if they actually mean anything or not. But yeah, these icons here are, first of all, they are placeholders. These are assets from Guild Battlegrounds. But they will be updated probably, I don't know, I imagine next week perhaps. So perhaps even next week we will learn more about what this actually means. But yeah, we have these assets here, and they don't correspond perfectly, but they do correspond somewhat to the colors of these relics. So I wonder if these relics, or perhaps we should say quote-unquote relics, might be related to these buildings or these fortresses here. Some of these don't match too well. Here, for example, I wondered perhaps if these 2 should be swapped, because here we have purple and green. We have purple and green. Here we have kind of, I don't know, not quite sure, beige or something like that. And I would say blue-greenish. So I don't know if it fits too well, but yeah, these are just placeholders. So I imagine when we know more, when we have the proper assets for them, that they might correspond better to these new relics. Because there are 6 of both, so I don't know. I think it might make sense if those are related. Anyways, we also have this new background here. It says GE Image Fortress Background, so background to the fortresses. Not exactly sure what this is. It's blurred out, so but it might be perhaps the new level, so the background for Guild Expedition level 5 perhaps. It seems like we have a path going here and also a path going here. So this might be split somewhere in the middle, perhaps here, and this part, perhaps it continues up here, so the path goes like this and this. I don't know. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Probably next week we will learn a lot more. But this might be some sort of background for GE level 5, perhaps. Anyways, then we have this other image here. Most of this is already familiar from the current implementation on the live server. The main thing, we have this icon here for Guild Expedition level 5. It's flipped 90 degrees, but yeah, here we have it. And this is also probably just a placeholder. For now, we can see the fortress in there, as well as here. But that will probably be updated with some sort of statue and temple later on to correspond to these. Now, in addition to this, we have one final thing. We have 3 new bonuses. And initially, I posted these in a separate thread on the beta forum. I thought they might be related to the tavern or something like that. But after some further thought, I think these are also related to this Guild Expedition update. So this first icon here, you can see the Prometheum icon here. It's called Icon Bonus Trade Special Goods, which I initially thought might be related to the possibility to trade special goods. However, now I'm quite convinced that this is related to negotiations, and that perhaps with this bonus, not quite sure how you get it, but with it, you don't have to pay as many special goods in negotiations, because some of the negotiations do require special goods if you're in those ages. And the second bonus here, bonus trade options, is probably also related to negotiations, either through, swapping out the current age goods with previous age goods, or possibly lowering the number of options, or also perhaps lowering the number of goods required in each slot. I don't know. And then we also have this bonus infiltration, which probably means that you can infiltrate the army that you fight in the guild expedition battle. So pay some coins probably to be able to have an easier time fighting. So that's all the assets. Now let's go and talk a little bit about what this might entail. And I think the most interesting stuff is around the temples and stuff like that. But first, let's talk a little bit more about these buildings. So the main building, the chain building here, I'm not sure how much there really is to talk about it. We don't know the stats of it yet, of course. I imagine it will probably be similar in value to the guild battleground buildings. So for example, the elephant or the statue of honor. So I imagine perhaps the main building will be perhaps not as valuable as that, perhaps a little bit less value because it's fewer levels, only 3. So perhaps something slightly worse than those. And then perhaps the chain buildings are slightly better versions of the road to victory, for example. I don't know, that would be my speculation. It definitely will be interesting, but with three options here, I do think there's a good chance that we will get something good from at least one of them. Perhaps even something related back again to Guild Expedition. That might be interesting, but who knows? Yeah, I don't really think there's too much more to say about these for now. We will definitely know more later on. In terms of the Ritual Flame, currently at level 2, it gives 12 city defense, which most people don't really think too much of. This one, I could see it going two ways. I could see it either giving more city defense, which, yeah, wouldn't be that important, or possibly, how about it also giving attacking defense? So in addition to the 12 city defense, perhaps it also gives 12 attacking defense. I think that would be interesting. It would mean that it is not as good as the Sentinel, but still an interesting option. So who knows? No, wait, it's actually better than the... Okay, perhaps it's a little bit much with 12. Not quite sure what I was doing with my math there, but yeah, perhaps 6 city defense would be interesting. Or perhaps even 4, I don't know. But some city defense, perhaps that would be, attacking defense, would be interesting. Although saying that, it will probably just be additional city defense. Anyways, Sacred Sky Watch. I don't know, it might perhaps give some more forge points, probably. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, it gives 2 at level 2. Or is it 3? 2 or 3 at level 2. So now perhaps 4. Is that too much to ask for? 5 even? If so, it would be a really good building for forge points. If you are a developing city, for example, it might be an interesting option. So yeah, who knows? Looking forward to see that. Perhaps it would give some additional goods, for example. That might be interesting. And then we have another brand new building. We don't really know much about it, as I already mentioned. Now, earlier, I talked a little bit about perhaps a production building. Don't really have anything to base that off of, but I think it would be interesting. And I did have an interesting thought about a cool animation for it. Don't think it will be added, not sure if it is even possible, but I think it would be cool if this door opened when the production was finished and something was placed down here to signal that the production was finished. I think that would look really cool, but yeah, probably not. Who knows? Perhaps there is some crazy animation for it, but I doubt it. So yeah, that's some buildings. Definitely some interesting stuff there. Definitely look forward to learning more about the mechanics. But then we have the mysterious temples, statues, relics, question mark. Who knows what this is? So some early speculation around this is that it might be 6 different paths, either 6 different options for the entire level 5. So when you start level 5, you can choose between one of these 6. And depending on what you choose, you will get some different rewards. You probably will face some different armies, negotiations, and so on. That might be an option. Another speculation I've seen is that each of these represent one kind of main encounter in the final level. So right now we have 4, but perhaps in the final level we will have 6 of those. So perhaps it will be 24 encounters instead of 16, who knows? Perhaps, yeah, that might be an option. Exactly how they relate to the relics, I don't know. It's interesting. Is that related to the Temple of Relics or is it not? Who knows? I think I wouldn't be opposed to it being a part of the Temple of Relics, but I do feel like it's quite a drastic change to add this much new stuff to an already existing great building, especially when, just by the nature of a new level in Guild Expedition, the Temple Relics will already have increased value. So adding additional stuff on top of that, I don't know, it might be a little bit too much to add to the building. Again, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think it would be interesting if the Temple of Relics got a buff, but it might be, I don't know. I'm leaning towards this theory here of them corresponding to these fortresses or fortifications somehow, perhaps to indicate which of these you have activated, or perhaps, how about this? I just thought about it. Perhaps for each encounter you can choose, and then for the next 3 or 4 encounters you have one of these boosts here active, and depending on which one you chose, you get a specific boost, perhaps for the next couple of sectors or provinces, encounters, sorry. Who knows? Perhaps these again are tied to these bonuses here. So one of them gives this bonus perhaps, one gives this bonus, one gives this bonus, who knows? Although this, I don't know. Or it might even be a bonus. Perhaps it's not related to spending coins like on the continent map. Perhaps by simply having a bonus, you automatically have the attack or hit points of the enemies decreased by 1 probably. So who knows, perhaps that will be a part. We do have this Temple of Infiltration, which would correspond to that. Let's see the other ones. Eagle Warrior Temple, Jaguar Warrior Temple. These both are, I don't know, warrior related names. And these are definitely not warrior related. So if these are tied to the fortresses, I then assume these 2 options are tied to some of these statues here. Perhaps we have 3 of these for attacking, 3 of these for negotiating, perhaps. That might be, that might be the case. And if so, perhaps we will get 3 more boosts here, or 3 more bonuses. And then perhaps each of these icons here corresponds to one of those bonuses, whichever one you have active. And which one you have active depends on somehow which temple or statue you choose. And I don't know. just thinking out loud, I suppose. It's something that we'll definitely keep an eye on for the next couple of weeks to see what we can expect. And yeah. Don't quite know what to make of this image yet. In the past, they have done similar things where they have blurred out an image. I remember them doing that for, I believe it was the wildlife information screen. Completely random, but I distinctly remember that. So this is probably something they've already made, but they wanted to blur it so that we don't get all the juicy information yet. So who knows what this will be, but it does look like the background for. It does say specifically for the fortresses. So I don't know. Perhaps these are some. Okay, how about this? Perhaps these are some offshoots. This is quite small. So perhaps there are some branches to the minigame at specific junctions. You can go on an offshoot branch, and if you complete that, you get one of these rewards or something like that. Who knows? It'll be definitely interesting to see. So yeah, I think that's more or less what I want to talk about in this video. Plenty of interesting stuff to look forward to. I'm really interested to see how good these buildings are. I'm also really interested to learn more about the fortresses, the quote-unquote relics, or whatever they might be, the boosts and all of that. So plenty of stuff to look forward to. Definitely keep an eye on my channel. I will be updating you if we get some more interesting stuff, either in my weekly beta recap, or if we get a lot, perhaps I will make a separate or a follow-up to this video, another standalone video. Anyways, before I end, another quick reminder that tomorrow, Saturday, I will be live streaming. And also, before I end, let me thank my Patreons for their support. I would like to thank Homestar, Fort Prefect, Lorden, Rock'n'Open, Kim Cayley, Rolf the 8th, PQ the Goat, Dan Simonad, JT, The Rev, Merrick B, Hugo Count von Count, Jan Fredriksen, Jutta Janves, Filda, Rush, Susan Weiss, Megarock, Rocco, Eric, Bethan Emrys, Henrik Darkleber, Mattia, Offshoots the Obsessed, Wrath, Kim, Adarel, Mike, Wolfboy, Flavius Belisarius, and Atomic. Thanks a lot for your support. Thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you in the future.